Hello and welcome back to a slightly different version of JBCTR. So you may have seen some of my other videos from today, but if you haven't, I'm currently on like a press day where there's loads of different manufacturers and we basically get to play in all of their cars. So in this video, I'm looking at the Renault Megane RS Trophy. The model we have here is the Megane Trophy 300. Until very recently, this was the kingpin of the Megane range with four-wheel steering, some fancy seats, stiffer suspension, a limited slip differential, and of course the all-important red brake calipers to show that you really mean business. The range topper is now the Megane Trophy R, which is a stripped-out track monster, and it's just set the front-wheel drive lap record at the Nuremberg. Now, the Trophy R is a very limited run, and I'm not entirely sure what it would be like to live with, so arguably the Trophy 300 you see here is the best for the road and the occasional track day. That said, the Megane 300 also has some impressive weight saving features, including a lightweight battery and floating brake rotors which save nearly 2 kilograms at each corner. It's powered by a 1.8 turbocharged engine producing 296 horsepower and 295 foot-pound of torque, which will propel the car from 0 to 62 in a claimed 5.7 seconds. On the inside, first impressions, well, actually you have these absolutely fabulous Recaro seats. They're the tried and tested CS model, so of course they're damn good and really quite comfy, if a bit firm, if you're being really picky. Steering wheel feels okay. The bit you hold on to feels a bit cheap, but you do have some nice Alcantara up top, which is nice, and obviously the red stitching in the middle to indicate your centre point, so that's not too bad. The middle center console is really plain and simple. I've yet to use the infotainment system, but I'll explore all that a bit later. And actually, all in all, it's not premium, but it's certainly neat, tidy. And most importantly, there is a manual gearbox in the middle. In the back, with the driver's seat in the driving position, it was a bit tight to get in. There's actually quite a lot of knee room, but strangely not much foot room. Like my feet are right under the front seat, so as long as I don't move, it's actually quite comfortable. And when I say as long as I don't move, I mean I can't move my feet. But in terms of headroom, loads, nice and comfortable for an adult. On the upper half, it's just the feet issue. And if you come around to the back and open the boot, you'll see that it's quite a sizable boot, although the boot floor is a little bit higher than you would expect, but nonetheless, it's still a good sized boot for a car of this size. Okay, so as we are on our way to the track, first impressions. Well, firstly, that gearbox, the throw on it is really short, which is quite cool. It's a little notchy, but it feels like pretty mechanical, and it's actually quite refreshing to drive a manual after today. A lot of the cars, and hot hatches at least, have been autos, which I think is a bit of a shame. But anyway, nice to be back in a manual. The exhaust notes, just when pootling around, kind of indicates that this car means business. This is not quite as firm and focused and track ready as the previous Meganes, but actually it seems to be pretty cool, and it certainly picks up all right. And even at slow speeds, the four-wheel steering, which was like the pioneer of this Megane, you can feel that at slow speeds as well. And I must admit, it feels very planted, and I'm doing 60 and it really does not feel like it's 60. It's very evident what they've tried to do is take on the Golf R. It is comfier, but I'm not entirely sure if it's as responsive as the Renault Sports of old. Some of you may or may not know that I owned a Renault Clio Renault Sport, and I absolutely loved that thing. And that's actually one of the reasons I bought my Fiesta ST, because I think it's the closest equivalent to that old manual, naturally aspirated Clio 200 that I had in the modern world. So I was quite looking forward to seeing the new Megane, and seeing what they've done with it. And actually, I much prefer the Megane to the current Clio, judging on this. And again, I'm held up by a Porsche. So the brakes themselves are actually quite long in the pedal, but they're very modular and really easy to read. Obviously, you've got the Brembo setup at the front that Renault Sport have been using for years. And actually, they're very good. I mean, why would you change? So downshifting comes pretty naturally to this car, really. In terms of heel and toe in, I've not yet tried it, so let me find a corner, I should say, and then I can try it. Let's try this one. Actually, heel and toe in is just one of the easiest cars I've driven to heel and toe. It's really quite well set up, this, I must admit. Brakes are good, even down a long, steep hill. Okay, so that engine, 280 brake, it's okay. It's a 1.8 turbo, a little bit of turbo lag, but actually, it picks up all right. It's okay. There is, as I said, a little bit of turbo lag, but once you learn to keep it on boost, it's actually quite a fun little engine. Heel and toe, there we go. God, I feel so much more at home with a manual. Even if accelerating mid-corner, it just seems to go. As I said, brakes a little bit long in the pedal, but really quite adjustable and readable. Heel and toe end, very good. Round this corner, trying to get the back to step out, and it just won't. Oh, rev limiter. Sloppy, Johnny, sloppy. Yeah. So there we have it. Those are my thoughts on the RS Megane, the Trophy Edition. And generally, I'm actually quite impressed with it. The build quality is far better than A, I was expecting, and B, I remember of my old Clio, which was quite a nice surprise, to be completely honest. So yeah, if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me and my car content, then feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. There goes a sight from my soul.